Hey guys, I wanted to put together a little video here. I had a friend ask me yesterday, is now a good time to buy? And I said, yes, it was a good time. And he said, well, all realtors say that. So after I got over the mild insult, I decided to put together this video to kind of prove my point here. So let's talk about what people are worried about and sort of what is happening right now. What we're looking at here is the home price index. So this is going back to 2020, going all the way up to December 2023. And this is basically overall prices for Greater Vancouver. So we saw this massive spike in prices when the pandemic hit that peaked around last summer. What happened last summer? Well, interest rates started to go up and naturally prices started to go down. So we saw a pretty quick decline here. This is from peak to trough is about 12% in prices. Now down here, which was December 2023, January 2024, prices started to go up again. And I suspect it's a lot of people here that were trying to cash in on these good deals, quote unquote, of prices that were down from their peak. So people are trying to cash in and buy some properties. It didn't go back up to the peak here in any market. And now we're starting to see a trend downwards as people are waiting to see what's going to happen with the interest rates. So there's this one camp of let's cash in on good deals, and there's a whole other camp of buyers that are saying let's wait and see. And it's understandable. I kind of I get both points of view. But let's talk about whether or not it is a good time to buy right now or not. Let me just change this slide. So let's talk about interest rates. Interest rates are what everyone's talking about, and that's what everyone's waiting for. Are interest rates going to go back down? Well, most economists predict that yes, they are going to go back down in 2024 and 2025. Now, if we look at where we are now, which is over here, we did see this massive spike in a really, really short amount of time, which is quite unusual in interest rates. But overall, if we look historically at at mortgage rates, we're actually pretty low. So, people are complaining now, which is understandable because if you look back at the history, we haven't been that high for a really long time. But overall, we're actually pretty low. If you talk to any baby boomers out there, they'll tell you about rates from 7.2 to 21.5%. So not too bad right now. The good news is that they are expected to come down 2024 and 2025. So I don't think we're going to see this craziness that the boomers experience. We should be going down to around 5% in the next year or two. Change my slide. And let's see how we're doing. So actually, mortgage arrears and bankruptcies are down right now. This is going back to 2013. So overall, we've seen a pretty steady decline in bankruptcies and mortgage arrears. We're doing really, really well. So I've seen lots of politicians and media talking about the housing bubble. They've been talking about that since before I was born. And I don't really put a lot of stock into that. We're actually doing pretty well in arrears and bankruptcies. So not a massive concern there that people are going to start not being able to make their payments. You might see one or two here and there, but overall, I don't think it's going to be a massive problem. And let's see, is it a good deal? Is it a good time to buy or not right now? Let's talk about distance from the peak. So going back to that first graph where we saw the big peak, that big roller coaster down and then back up again. Well, from the peak price, Chilliwack and Fraser Valley are down almost 25%. The rest of BC is kind of hovering around that 10% range. And Greater Vancouver right now is down about 5% from the peak. So prices are still low. And what do you think is going to happen when interest rates start to go down? Well, everyone's going to jump into the market and they're going to start driving those prices up again. So you can see, I bet you, in the next year or two, these will all be back to zero. We'll be back at peak or over peak prices. So is it a good time to buy? Yeah, I think so. Yes, you're going to have a higher interest rate, but if you're saving 5, 10, 20% on your property, then it's probably worth it. So pick your poison.